If you're looking for a book that will change and improve your life immediately, these three will get the job done. So I wanted to share just a little bit about each one with you. The first one is 10x is easier than 2x. I just recently finished this one and it was an amazing book. It's written by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy. Dan Sullivan is a very successful entrepreneur coach. Benjamin Hardy is an author, entrepreneur, and psychologist. So it was, the idea behind 10x is easier than 2x is that when you 10x your goals and make them seemingly impossible, it's actually easier to attain goals than by just simply doubling them. And the idea behind that is if we set an impossible goal, so let's say you wanted your business to make $100,000. Well, if you 10x that, it's seemingly impossible, but it forces your mind to think on a whole different level that you have not been thinking on and operating on to achieve a seemingly impossible goal. It also talks about how there's the 80-20 rule, and typically 80% of the things we're spending our time and effort on should probably be done away with, and we just focus on that 20% and shift from quantity to quality. One of the things that really stuck out in this book that I thought you may enjoy, typically what we do is we have our past, right? And a lot of the times you don't like your past. And so it then in turn determines your present, which then in turn determines your future. But that's not the way we should think about it. If we want 10x growth, we should actually be looking at the future and deciding what do you want in your future. And then by focusing on what you want and what you want to become and obtain, it changes what you're doing in the present. And when you frame every day as a win, it begins to change your past into a positive rather than a negative. This particular book was so good that I did with it what I do on a lot of books that I really enjoy is I read it, I underline in it, I do my commonplace book, which I've talked about in the past, but then I go back and I re-listen to it on Audible, because sometimes when you listen to it, you'll pick up on different things that you didn't catch when you read it. And I don't know about you, but when I'm driving, I don't really like to waste time just listening to music or talk radio. I remember years ago, I used to listen to a lot of political talk radio, and at the end of the day, I would just be frustrated. And I'm like, what? Why am I doing this? So now when I have a little bit of a drive or windshield time, as I like to call it, I love to listen to either a new book or a book I've just read to see what else I can get out of it. If you don't have Audible, I actually put a link below that'll get you a free 30-day trial if you want to try listening to audiobooks yourself. So that's the first one. By the way, for each of these three books, I'll put a link below if you want to read any of them. None of the three are very big. The third one is the biggest. This next one I want to show you is a book by Jim Rohn, which is one of my favorite personal development authors and characters. He just had such a neat personality. He's easy to listen to, easy to read. As you can see, this next book is quite small, and it's called 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness. And it's simply packed full of good personal development habits and information. I can't recommend this one enough. In fact, just recently, my daughter, who's 14, was riding in the car with me, and I was listening to some Jim Rohn podcasts. And when she got back, she was like, what were we listening to? Will you send me that? So even my 14-year-old daughter just loved the way that he presents information. My wife recently read this book. So this one, you're going to learn a lot about goals. He talks a lot about setting goals, how to achieve those goals. Or if you need help in the area of finance or managing your time, he also covers that in this book. You'll definitely learn the art of living well by reading this 7 Strategies book. And I guarantee just by reading it, it'll improve your life immediately just by the new thinking that it will give you after you're done with it. The third and final book is Atomic Habits by James Clear. I seem to have misplaced the jacket for this book for some reason. It's the bigger of the three, but it's a bestseller for a very good reason. It's been on the top 3 or 5 of the bestsellers for business, personal development, self-help. and it's for a reason. He does an amazing job. I actually read some background. He did a lot of time and effort into putting this book together. So this one obviously is going to be about habits. You will learn how to start good habits, how to stop bad ones, and how to develop tiny behaviors that lead to remarkable results. One of the main ideas that he talks about in the book is developing systems, because what you do a lot of times is you set goals, right? But a lot of the times we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. So what systems do we have in place to achieve the goals that you want? If you suffer from lack of motivation or willpower, the book does an amazing job of laying out simple guidelines to make success easy. Do you struggle getting out of the house and into the gym to exercise? He talks about simple things like just getting in the habit of putting your shoes on, you're putting your gym clothes on, and going. And maybe you just commit to go for 1 minute. I'm going to go work out for 1 minute, and that's what I'm going to commit to. And odds are, once you get there, you probably work out for more than 1 minute, but it's just developing that frequency of a good habit. Or you can think about habits as compared to compound interest. You know, if you're investing and you understand compound interest and how it grows your money over time, the same thing is true with our habits. Little tiny habits compound over time to remarkable results. So all three of these books are great reads. I've got the links below so you can find them on Amazon, and I've also got that Audible link below. If you don't like to read or don't have time to read and just want to listen to them, you get a 30-day free trial. I use the premium one because you get one free book a month. And like I say, when you're out driving or you're traveling, it's so nice to just listen to a book, and it actually passes the time quicker rather than listening to a bunch of 3-minute songs. To listen to a book, and plus you're going to grow, you're going to develop, you're going to learn new things as you're traveling versus just listening to music. I would suggest if you're new to personal development and self-growth, I would start with this little Jim Rohn book because it's small, it's a very easy one to read. The other ones, I would say that Atomic Habits is the second easiest to read, and then they're all easy to read, but as far as like simplicity and just principles for personal development and improving your life immediately, they're all great, but this is the one. If you could only get one, I would probably recommend starting with Jim Rohn. Hope you liked the video. If you enjoyed this and you want more content around personal development, intentional consistency, I hope this video helped you. If you've been looking for a new book to read and weren't sure which one to get next, then I hope you enjoy one of these three, if not all of them. You'll find the links below for the books and for Audible. If you enjoyed this, subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.